What if some of the most important discoveries in history are locked away from everyone? There are ancient places and objects that scientists know about, but they're not allowed to study them. Some are sealed by governments. Some are protected by tribes. Others are too fragile or too dangerous to touch. This means we have real discoveries that could change what we know about human history, but no one can explore them. Today, we will look at 7 of these restricted discoveries and the simple reasons why they remain off limits. Number 1. The Lascaux Cave in France. The Lascaux Cave contains some of the most detailed Paleolithic paintings on Earth. The artwork is more than 17,000 years old and shows animals, symbols, and scenes from ancient life. When it was discovered in 1940, it was open to the public. But within a few years, the carbon dioxide from visitors caused severe damage. Mold, algae, and white crystals started spreading across the walls. Conservators could not stop it. In 1963, the French government closed the original cave completely. Only a very small number of scientists are allowed entry for a few hours per year. They check the condition of the paintings, but cannot conduct large-scale studies. Most research depends on older images and digital scans. Modern tools like laser analysis or taking microscopic samples are not allowed because they might harm the artwork. Lascaux remains one of the least accessible archaeological sites on the planet. Number 2. The tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. The terracotta army is famous worldwide, but the actual tomb of the emperor remains untouched. The burial mound covers around 65,000 square meters, and ancient texts describe rivers of mercury, palaces, weapons, and mechanical traps inside. When archaeologists discovered the terracotta warriors in 1974, it raised global interest. However, China refuses to open the main tomb. There are 2 main reasons. First, current excavation technology cannot guarantee preservation. The paint on the terracotta figures fades within minutes of exposure. If the tomb contains wooden structures, fabrics, or painted objects, they would be damaged if opened now. Second, high levels of mercury have been recorded in the soil and around the mound. This supports the old records and shows that the inside could be dangerous to human health. Because of this, China keeps the tomb sealed until future technology can protect and study the contents safely. Number 3. The Vatican's secret archives. These archives hold around 50 kilometers of shelves filled with ancient documents, papal letters, maps, trial records of the Knights Templar, and correspondence with kings and emperors. They cover more than 12 centuries of history. Despite the name, the archives are not entirely secret. Scholars can request access, but the rules are extremely strict. Only a tiny number of experts receive permission each year. They can view only the specific documents they request. They cannot wander through the archives or explore freely. Many collections remain closed for reasons never publicly explained. Some materials are restricted due to political sensitivity. Others are believed to contain information about early church decisions, lost manuscripts, or controversial events. Photography is restricted, and copies are limited. Although some documents have been released recently, most of the archive remains out of reach. This limited access prevents historians from studying important parts of global history. Number 4. The North Sentinel Island Tribal Site. North Sentinel Island in the Bay of Bengal is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes in the world. An archaeological study is impossible because the tribe rejects all outside contact. They protect their land with weapons and have a history of resisting outsiders for centuries. The Indian government has placed a complete ban on travel to the island. No one is allowed within several kilometers of its shores. Because of this, researchers cannot study the island's ancient tools, settlements, or burial grounds. We do not know their migration history, their pottery traditions, or how long they have lived there. Everything is based on distant observations and satellite images. The ban exists to protect the tribe from diseases they have no immunity. While this is ethically correct, it also means that an entire living archaeological record remains completely inaccessible to modern science. Number 5. the Hall of Records under the Sphinx. There's a chamber beneath the Great Sphinx of Giza. This is confirmed by seismic surveys completed in the late 1970s and early 1990s. The chamber is man-made and sits beneath the front paws. Egyptian authorities acknowledge its existence, but they do not allow excavation or entry. The reason is simple. The Sphinx is fragile. Any drilling or digging near its base could destabilize the structure. Some believe the chamber contains tools, tablets, or records from the Old Kingdom. Others think it could be a storage space or a symbolic void with no artifacts inside. Without excavation, nothing can be confirmed. Modern equipment could investigate safely, but Egyptian officials prefer to avoid risks. They prioritize preservation over discovery. As a result, one of the most important structures in Egypt has a hidden chamber that no one is permitted to study directly. Number 6. The Mount Baigong Pipes in China. Near Mount Baigong, in Qinghai Province, researchers found unusual pipe-shaped structures embedded in rock formations. Some pipes are on the mountain slope, others extend into a nearby lake. Chinese scientists who tested samples in the early 2000s found that the material was mostly iron. Some also contained traces of plant matter, leading to speculation that the pipes might be natural fossil formations. Others argued that they looked too regular to be natural. The site is difficult to access because of desert conditions, tribal land, and restricted zones. The local government later labeled the place as a nature reserve, which further restricted research. Only limited studies have been done. The origin, formation process, and exact age of the pipes remains uncertain. Without full geological research and dating tests, the true explanation stays incomplete. The combination of difficult terrain and official limits keeps the site largely unexplored. Number 7. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault Lower Levels. The Svalbard Seed Vault in Norway stores more than 1 million seed samples from around the world. It is sometimes called the Doomsday Vault. The main entrance and upper corridors are known, but the lower levels and internal storage facilities are off limits. Only authorized technicians and specific scientists are allowed inside. Researchers cannot freely inspect the vault or study the construction, layout, or certain biological samples. The vault is built deep inside a mountain and protected by multiple security layers. Many crop varieties stored there belong to countries that strictly control access to their genetic material. Some regions conflict over ownership of ancient grains, so agreements prevent open study. For safety, no one is permitted to enter without clearance. Photographs of the interior are controlled. This makes the vault scientifically interesting, but largely inaccessible, especially for archaeological and genetic studies of ancient seeds. These discoveries are real, but still locked away from researchers. Which one do you think should be opened first? Tell us in the comments and share your thoughts. If you want more simple and clear videos like this, make sure to subscribe and stay with us for the next story.